Robin Asbell, your plant-based chef, and today I'm going to show you how to make a breakfast burrito, plant-based, packed with protein, because everybody's all worried about protein. This one is got tofu, chorizo, tomatoes, jalapenos, cilantro, totally packed with protein. This one, I griddled it up a little bit in a hot saute pan to give it a nice crispy shell. Then the rest of them, I put into containers and I can freeze them. I can refrigerate them. You can take them straight out of the freezer, microwave it for 2 minutes. You've got a hot breakfast. I'm all into the meal prep. You may know I wrote a book called Vegan Meal Prep. So come on along and I'll show you how to make this delicious veggie breakfast burrito. Now here we have some extra firm tofu, which I've wrapped in a towel, and I've just pressed it. I didn't pile a bunch of weights on top or fuss that much. I just wrapped it in a clean towel, pressed it, let it sit for a while. Now I'm crumbling it up. Now you see it's got a nice texture from being extra firm and that nice porous open texture. In goes my chickpea flour, turmeric for that yellow color, smoked paprika, because you can't go wrong there, and my kala namak, the black salt. Look for that in Indian grocery stores, or you can order it online. It has that kind of sulfury flavor that makes tofu taste more like eggs. If you can't find it, you can always just use some salt. I wouldn't use the full teaspoon. Maybe start with 1/2 or 3/4 of a teaspoon of regular salt. The kala namak is really quite an interesting phenomenon. It's not just one single thing. It's a process. So it's very interesting ingredient. But again, for our purpose, it just makes it taste a little eggy. So I'm putting in some lime juice and just continue to mash that with your hand. And there it is, a nice texture. So I'm going to put in some avocado oil into the hot pan and swirl that around a little bit so I can add my tofu mixture. Now I just want to get that into a nice hot pan so it won't stick as much. This is going to stick a little bit, but that's okay. You just sort of scrape up the stuck parts and they add to the flavor of it. So I'm just going to stir this around a little bit in the pan and get that scrambled. It's up to you how much you want to scramble it. There, I let it cook until it's got some nice brown spots. And then I'm going to stir in this chorizo. Now this is Abbott's. There are a bunch of brands of vegan chorizo, Upton's, all these different. It's gluten-based, so it's adding even more protein to my high-protein breakfast burrito, because you want to make sure you get that protein and start the day. So just mix that together. Now I'm heating it up. If you want to eat them right away, these prepared chorizo products are already cooked, so all you're doing is warming it up and maybe getting a little bit of a crisp edge on the crumbles. But that's about it. And I don't need to, if I'm going to just make a burrito to put in the freezer, don't even bother to heat it up. So now I'm adding the nutritional yeast. You might ask, why now? I think it's better to add the nutritional yeast at the end. It doesn't stick to the pan as much and undoubtedly preserves those vitamins which might be damaged by cooking. So I'm going to cut up a jalapeno. I've got a video up on my YouTube channel about how to do this, but just basically cut the flesh of the jalapeno away, and then you can get rid of the seeds and the white membrane and just get jalapeno flavor with a little less heat. It looks a little nicer without the seeds in there. And now I've got a cup of grape tomatoes. Now you might ask, why grape tomatoes? Well, in wintertime, these are really the only fresh tomatoes that have any good flavor. Year-round, you can count on grape tomatoes to deliver almost summer quality flavor in a tomato. Also, you'll notice that just by the shape of them, they're not going to be quite as juicy and sloppy inside the burrito. If I were chopping up just a big tomato, it could get quite wet inside the burrito. So I'm using a 1/2 cup measure. This makes it very easy to sort of pack it into a nice round shape so that I can plop it on my tortilla. Now these whole wheat tortillas, I microwave them for 20 seconds. Otherwise, they will be kind of brittle and break when you're folding and rolling your tortilla, and it will look kind of shaggy. So you just want to get them warmed up enough to be pliable and easy to roll. You can see I'm just having to press that in there with my fingers because I want this to be a big fat one, nice and full. So you really kind of just wiggle it around and make sure you're holding it all in place. Now I'm sealing it with a toothpick. That will be something that will hold it together. Now in a cheesy burrito, the cheese kind of holds it together, but I prefer, obviously, to do this without. You can use a vegan cheese if you want, or a regular cheese, it's up to you. Or you can mash up the avocado and put it inside, and that will help to sort of hold it together as well, but it won't hold it together enough to griddle it. So again, putting in a little bit of the tomato and the cilantro and the jalapeno and just rolling it up. Very simple, easy stuff. Now I like to prep these up and put them in the freezer, put them in the refrigerator, and then I can heat them up whenever I come back from the gym, and it's a great breakfast. So we all want to make sure we've got plenty of protein on the plate. And there you go. I'm going to put this in a hot pan. Now I'm going to put this in the hot pan on a little bit of hot avocado oil, and I'm going to put it with the toothpick side down so that will help seal it closed. And that way, once these are toasted up, you can cut it, you can serve it, and it will stay in a nice, neat shape and not fall apart. So there you have it. Toasty. That's really going to be quite delicious. And there I'm going to show you how to cut up the avocado. Just cut it in half and then open it up and boom, out it comes. I'm going to slice it inside the shell. Just run that paring knife along the bottom of the shell so you get nice thin slices. This is how you make a pretty avocado garnish. So I'm going to use my spoon to scoop it out, and you want to scoop right along the shell so you get that beautiful outer layer of the deep green avocado. Don't want to leave anything behind. And then turn that over and see how by keeping it all in one shape, you can make a nice garnish, which you will then, of course, eat in your burrito as you go. So there it is. I'm going to cut it in half and get that toothpick out of there. But see how it holds together nicely now? And that is a key part of the enjoyment of eating your burrito. And there is the beautiful, delicious burrito. Please hit like, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.